You're finding out about Santa Claus when I'm losing my virginity?
Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
Hello. Hello. I shine bright like a diamond. Look at this. This is a real doctor's lighting going on back here.
You had 2 weeks of great outfits. You had your gorgeous blue that even in our conference meeting room on Saturday night, Richard Zions, our producer for America's Game of the Week, was like, I really love Carissa's blue outfit. And then your Sunday outfit was so fire and so orange. God. I loved it. I screamed from Ford Field.
Well,
and so did all those Lions fans.
Shout out to Vicky Trilling and Alyssa Green. That was a tag team effort on both those. And the designer was Alex Perry, for those of you that are interested. And that's why we have 10 jobs to pay for those outfits. And they're both yours whenever you want them. How are we doing? We have not actually recorded a podcast episode in 2 weeks.
Couple weeks.
Which is a long time for us. We're back on track. We are, for those of you that are listening, it's Thursday. We record this on Monday. We are headed into week 10 of the NFL season. How did that already happen?
I know.
Double digits.
I know. You can see it all over my face. I did go for a little Botox today. I walked into Botox, and I don't know how you guys do, or if you don't do Botox, good for you. But if you do, I go in with no makeup on. I try to be
any Botox. What are you talking about? I have not done any Botox ever.
I try to be super moisturized. But then you go in and you look in that mirror before. I always do 2 checks. Are there eye boogers and are there real boogers before he comes in and, kind of syringes me up, picks my face or pins my face, whatever, with a needle. But you look in that mirror and you're like, shit. And then you're like, it's week 10.
Okay, well, let me ask some more questions here.
Sure.
Why is the lighting is it a doctor's office?
I mean, it's a plastic surgeon's office.
No. Daisy has some thoughts. Daisy, I love you. Daisy, pardon the interruption. That's a different show. Where's Michael Wilbon?
Different paycheck.
Much different. Daisy, thank you for joining us on this episode. If you don't, you're going to have to go inside if you don't hold it together. Okay, the overhead lighting, reminiscent of what's going on here in the House and Home Design Studios. We need to dim the lights. I have questions. Why is the lighting in doctors' offices
and
dressing rooms bad? If I own a clothing shop, who says clothing shop? I don't know. If I own a clothing store, I am making the lighting so good that you look fantastic in everything.
Because you want to buy more.
Of course. And you know what else I'm doing? I'm tilting those mirrors. Okay. I'm making them a little tilted so then you look skinnier. You know the skinny mirrors.
And taller?
Yeah, because when you tilt it, it makes you look leaner, right?
I didn't know that. I just tried to tilt my camera to make me look leaner. Okay.
There is not a straight mirror in my house because I don't care if I'm delusional. The same thing, I don't care if I put a filter on something. I don't want to know what I really look like.
No.
Someone's like, you look fabulous in that. I'm like, doesn't look anything like me, and I'm okay with it. I'm at the point in my life that I am totally fine with being like, nope, that's not what I look like. And I'm okay with it. So doctor, make the lighting better. Clothing stores and I'm going to buy a lot of shit from you.
Oh, yeah. I bought a lot of shit from him today, too. And especially when he was like, I'm going to give you a little bit of this, give you a little bit of that, not on my face, but in a bag to take home. I said, yep, give it to me all. Like, that's when they can nail you. If you're going to tell me my pigmentation's going to go away and I'm going to look all one shade, fine, I'll take it. I don't care. I'll keep it in the fridge. That's the other thing. Why are we doing face creams in the fridge? Because then I got to walk upstairs. I got to freaking wash my face. Then I got to remember it's hard enough for me to remember when the face cream's to my left or to my right. But I got to go all the way downstairs on my new stair runner and grab my Christmas mug and make sure I put a ... but not too much because then my skin's going to come off. Well, then that's already
the retin-A. The retin-A.
Yep. I'm going to retin-A my face right off.
You know when they say, this is so me, when people say—
the landscapers are here right on time.
But that was me earlier today. I had a very important call. And this is the time that we're going to have the tree trimming guy pick it up. So right outside the door, it's— and I'm like, so this is me. So my parents are staying with me. I pick up the light, pick up the computer. I run inside. Shit's falling everywhere. And my dad's like, you okay? And I'm like, no, this is a very important call. And it's always when the important calls happen that we got all the other stuff going on. I finally got the lady tamed over here for the neighbor with the fence, which, by the way, that house is never selling. Okay, they must be out of money because she was running the electrical the other day. And I was like, well, that's what happens when that's why she need the 2 inches for the fence. For those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about.
Running the electrical? What does that mean?
when you have to run it through, like before you put up the drywall and everything in your house, you run the electrical behind it. Anyways, I commend anyone. My parents built their house. I love, getting down and dirty with the tool belt, but I think she's out of funds over there. And maybe if she would have been nicer, I would have helped her. House and Home would have put her
good thing
right
you
over
didn't
there.
take her to court.
Oh, I'm telling you who I am going to take to court. My car accident.
Who?
Guess who didn't have car insurance?
I knew it.
The person that hit me.
Shit.
The person that hit me. And
what does this mean for
I'm
you?
fired up. It means that they're going to have to go after him for anything that he has because he lied and said he had insurance. And this is the problem. When they came and took the information, I had to submit the police report and like the whole thing, and nobody verified that the insurance was right. This Fulio tried to get insurance that night. Then my insurance company calls me like, oh, he didn't have insurance. It expired and he tried to get it that night.
Oh.
So now the routine car accident, which was a terrible accident, and everyone's like, it's fine, as long as you are okay and you have insurance. I get that. Health is number one. But this fool's driving around without insurance, just weaving in and out, and now it's a pain. Now it's a whole thing for me. And you know what I don't like? Paperwork. I hate the paperwork. Now we're faxing. Now we can't.
I also don't like paying all these bills when somebody else is just driving around and then in the end they're going to get away with it. No. Why do we always are the ones that take all these precautions, pay this shit, and in the end, I feel like these people aren't even getting penalized or penalized. Which one is it?
I don't know, but it's like we all have to
There's
abide
a
by
lot
the
of
rules,
penalties in my game.
and then there's no penalties for anyways, whatever. So that's what's going on over here is that I'm dealing with that. But back to the Botox. No, I'm kidding. That's why I need Botox. Actually, I'm really good about not getting as much as I used to. I was going crazy for a while.
I'm proud of you about that.
This was nuts.
Well, you were doing filler too, though, right?
I was going to the wrong person, and it was really like buy two, get four free. And I was starting to look like a cat, and I was not into that. Now I feel like I'm back to my old self.
Daisy.
Back to my old self. But no, that's the precaution right there. Talk about needing insurance is for bad Botox. Whoa.
Wow.
It's hard to undo that.
Yeah. And I feel like we see so many good examples of it living out here in LA and these chicks that, I told you, we talked about this one time on the podcast where Courtney Cox was so open about, my God, I just got so caught up in it. So yeah,
I just
go
caught
for
up in it. I
just
pinpricks trusted too much.
Yeah, I get that.
That's like the story of my life. I'm always like, yeah, go for it. And then deal with the consequences later. What's happening? Okay. Oh,
you're learning.
So I know I'm a slow learner, but I get there eventually. Now, back to the Christmas conversation, since 'tis the season. You guys always get a Christmas tree, and I'm so proud of you. When does the Christmas tree get purchased? Is it real? How long? Because my parents are here, so they're going to help me with all this. I need to know, is it too early to get the Christmas tree right now? Because I'm very excited about getting one this year. I've never had one. I've been in this house 5 years, and I've never had a Christmas tree.
Oh, gosh. Burkhart is texting me this thing about Josh Allen. Please don't be hurt very badly. He is just one of the great stories of the league right now. Come on. Well, our good friend Jacqueline Quick has her tree up already. We love her so much. The day after Halloween, she's like turning, her entire house into a winter wonderland. I actually think I'm going to ask my better half if we can put it up next week. I'm just ready. So the past couple of years, we've spent Christmas in Montana. We're going to spend Christmas here this year. So I'm excited about that. But the past couple of years, we've actually done a fake tree. And we have it here at our house. And then in Montana, we get a real one. So we have a fake one that's super easy. I do love a real tree. They are fantastic. But when you live with one Jarrett Stoll, AKA Monica Geller from Friends, it's a lot to deal with in terms of pine needles. I'm also a bit neurotic. Is it drinking? Is it not drinking? I think it dried up. It's dead. We have to get a new one for Christmas Eve. So this one we have from not an ad, but I wish it was, Front Gate is amazing. Jackie Quick got hers from Front Gate. And it's amazing. Plus, I like burn so many damn candles in this house. You would think there was a real tree in here. Speaking of candles, this is one Troy Aikman gave us a couple years ago.
Pretty.
It's from the Miramar.
I know where that's from. I can tell by those flags.
Apple and tobacco in it. Ooh,
look at you. Anyone know any good suggestions on more candles? Actually, I have a house and home candle line, so I shouldn't be promoting other candles.
True.
Right here. But I do love new scents. I'm just noticing right now, though, my eyes have been red for, 2 months. I don't know
what's happening.
I don't know. And it's not an eye makeup thing. It's not whatever.
Is it the drops that you're using?
I don't know. I'm really.
You can get addicted to those. You can. They're not great for you.
Oh, yeah. But look at this. Red Rover said my eyes right over. They're so irritated. I don't know. Neither here nor there. I just need any good eye drop suggestions. I think you're not supposed to use
I don't think you're supposed to use them.
Right?
No, because you can get addicted to them. It's like Afrin. It's not good for you in the end.
Everything
Although
causes,
I did do a neti
problem.
pot this morning.
Oh, no. This one in her neti pot.
I had to.
Hey, you know what we
so
still
much
haven't
shit
done?
In my throat.
That earwax thing. Has anyone done that?
I want to do it so bad. I want to do it so bad. Even I went and bought those candles that you shove in your ear and the wax will come out for a hot night with my sister, and we still haven't done it yet.
Oh my God. I need to do that. And I'm looking for eye drops while I talk about this because it's getting worse by the minute.
Don't do them.
You know what? It's also that it's that thing that once it's in your head, they're stinging. Okay, so I'm going to get a Christmas tree. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Front gate. That's good. I'm looking forward to that. So my parents are here for the next couple weeks. And I got to tell you this. I took a picture of them today. Everyone, I don't know how I know how you feel about your parents, but everyone listening, I'm obsessed with these two. They have been together since they were 18 years old. Okay? 18
Which is
years
a
old,
testament. It's great.
65. And as a gal who clearly hasn't figured that portion of the program out, they talk and hang out with each other all day long. I took this picture of them. My mom loves puzzles. So she's in the corner doing a puzzle. My dad's looking at the picture of the puzzle, helping her do it. And they're laughing and they're talking. And I looked at Steve yesterday because we were eating dinner off to the side and my parents were in the living room. And they're just cracking up and all these things. And I looked at him and I go, what in the hell are they still talking about and laughing about after 40-something years together? And he goes, you would not last that long with me. And I was like, I wouldn't last that long with myself.
So what is it with them? What in the hell is it? And I will ask you this. So this is a loaded question, something John Swatsky would never want me to do, but I'm lucky if I get to do one. He helps us with our interviews and at ESPN. Actually, he was amazing. This is totally a sidebar, which is crazy. He was somebody that ESPN brought in when we were there, and he kind of helped rewire a lot of the way the reporters thought at ESPN to stop doing interviews like you give the athlete or coach a statement. It was what, why, when, where, how. And I tell you what, my brain was fucked for a good 5 months because I was like, this isn't a question. It's not a question. And even yesterday when I thought, the Packers were going to pull off this win and Aaron's, driving down the field and with 2 minutes left, I was like, how do I ask this with what, why, when, where, how? And I was so annoyed I couldn't figure it out. And then it didn't happen anyways. But what was I asking you? Oh, 2-part question with your parents. What is it? And growing up, did you ever see them get in a Schlitterbomb of a fight?
Amazing. Schlitterbomb. If you guys are interested in going to Germany for the Seahawks Tampa Bay game, the first ever Germany game is happening. So that's exciting. Schlitterbombs. So to answer your first question, what is it? I ask them all the time because again, areas in my life that I'm deficient, I want to get better at. It starts with respecting your partner and choosing the right partner, which you have absolutely done in your life.
But they were 18 years old. How did they know they did that?
They didn't. My mom got pregnant. My dad's like, well, here we go. We're going to figure it out. But they always had a date night. Every week they had a date night and they had $0. But my dad was always had this he always would say this. He goes, your mom is my priority because you guys are going to come and go. You guys are 18, you're out of here. She's staying. So he always put her above us. And I never had kids, but I'd imagine that in the busy aspects of your life, you make your kids the priority. Not my dad. He was like, I'm over you guys. She is number one and it's adorable. And what was the second question?
Did you ever see them get in a massive fight growing up?
I saw them argue a little bit here or there, but I think they did a really good job of being we don't need to put this in front of them, but we also don't need to pretend we're, leave it to Beaver, perfect little family. I think it was just always about communicating issues, saying you're sorry. And I don't know. They're so cute and I'm so grateful.
It's
I know
amazing.
You are.
They lasted.
They lasted and they're thriving. And with your parents too, growing up, I never had to grow up with divorce. I never had to grow up with any of that. And so even in my own situations, I was so grateful I never had a child because I can't imagine having to deal with that. So I have a ton of respect for parents that co-parent and do it amicably and do what's best for their kid, because there's also that thing where parents are like, oh, well, we stay together for the kid. It's like the kid knows what's up. Like kids aren't dumb.
Yeah.
So anyways, I shouldn't speak on it because I've never had those situations. But anyways, I love, and it's one of my great like joys in life is having, parents that I can look up to and continue to ask them how to do it right. Anywho, so that's what's happening. They're great, super helpful. Oh, walking the dogs. They're doing a lot of dog walking here. I have a question. Does anyone know where we can get good rain jackets for dogs? Because this girl over here needs some rain jackets.
Actually, Ryan,
pups.
it's a good suggestion to our producer, Chewy.com. They have great raincoats, or Amazon. But Chewy, we would love to work with them as well, because that's where we get a lot of How stuff. But Howie has a raincoat. He hates anything on him, but he has that long, luxurious blonde hair. And that's when this really sucks to walk the dogs. But he puts the raincoat on. He gets annoyed. He starts acting like he can't walk when he has it on. But you just throw a freaking treat in front of him and we call it a day. What happened? You talked about in our pregame show this week that you fell down or up the stairs with your parents in town. What happened?
So I went out to drinks with a colleague of ours, just, catching up, whatever. I came home and my stairs don't have a runner on them. And there's stairs that can't have a runner because
slippery.
they're like these floating stairs. So you can't, like one stair doesn't lead to the next. You'd have to wrap the whole stair. I had socks on. And I was running up the stairs and I slipped and my shin went right into the edge of the stair. And they're not a stair that has a rounded edge. These are like modern, like 90-degree angle, right into the stair. And I was like, ow, fuck. And my parents are staying in the downstairs guest bedroom. And I was like, oh, they definitely heard that. So then I go upstairs and I feel like I'm a child back in my own house, where it's like I'm sneaking back in and it's like, whatever. Not that my parents give a shit, but I'm just like, still feel like I want to be respectful and not be loud.
Right.
So in the morning, my dad goes, hey, fall up the stairs last night? And I was like, hey, so you heard that, huh? And he's like, you okay? And I was like, my shin's not. I have this massive mark on my shin, a huge bruise on the other. Not a good look. But yeah, I'm getting clumsier. I feel like I'm an athletic gal, but like, forget the cocktails. I'm still constantly in a hurry and I'm running into things and all that stuff, but there's nothing. Oh, almost broke my toe. Jammed that on the corner of when I was doing my sister's house for the install. I'm real beat up. I know I'm getting spray tan tomorrow for a couple reasons. I'm very white right now, but also because I need to cover up all these bruises. I'm just running into things.
Wow.
All over the place.
I have to walk behind the benches on the field and there's all these wires. There's, photographers, camera guys, all this stuff happening, a cart, trainers, people, blue tents. Yeah. And yesterday I was walking and I was in sneakers of all things and I freaking tripped over this, like, I don't even know what it was. It was part of the field and like a rubber thing. And then for me, I feel like I'm on a stage because all the fans are standing there. And I was like, so I just ran it off. But I was most upset because I got a big stain on my new white sneakers. So I was upset. I was like, can you forget about the blood on Aaron Rodgers' jersey? Can you clean up my sneakers over here, red from the Packers? Anywho.
My favorite is when you always ask the Packers for like training or for like doctors or like tips or things like that.
Yesterday, I was on the sidelines with Dr. Pat McKenzie. And if anyone watched our game, 8 players went down on the Packers sidelines with injuries. First play of the game, Romeo Doubs, he hurts his ankle, high ankle sprain, out 4 to 6 weeks. Not good.
Reporting live.
And I am talking to Pat McKenzie about the flu shot, about, like how bad people's immune systems. And I was like, oh, and I've got this thing over here on the side of my neck, Romeo Doubs on the ground. Like it was enough of my problems.
Wait, so for people that don't know, and I always preface this, but like we have an audience that listens, I think, to us because of broadcasting, but then also like the interest of sports, whatever. So how does that work if all these guys are going down at the same time? Do you just have to wait for PR, or like, I don't know anymore, like protocols, you're not supposed to speculate and this and that.
You can't speculate. There's a lot of rules in the NFL, but there are also situations where Aaron Jones, right? I saw, okay, here's a story. Here's inside story. I saw, Aaron Jones was getting stretched out quite a bit on the sideline. So I knew something was up. I just didn't know if he was having cramps or what was going on. So I told in break, Kevin and Greg, to keep an eye on it. And then he just simply wasn't coming on the field. He was standing on the sidelines without his helmet. So we're like, something's wrong. I saw him look up into the stands and he made an X, and I knew he was talking to his mom, and he goes, X-rays, and he ran into the locker room. I can't report that because that's just, the NFL is very strict. College, you can. NFL, you have to get permission. Now, I can observe what I can report on what I observe if they are. That's why guys go into blue tents now, because they don't want us to know what they're looking at, or they may have to pull something down, get a shot or whatever, any of that stuff. So I just wasn't going to do that and say he looked up into the stand. There's a limit to what you should do and what I feel like I can do. So I knew he ran out there. He came back out. He ran fast out. So I was like, I think they're going to get Aaron Jones back. And then the Packers came back and said no change to his injury. So I gave a report on what I observed because I thought it was really interesting. He ran as fast as he did out, but then Greg made a great observation. He was like, Aaron Jones's face tells it all. He's just got news he didn't want to get. But there's some things you can report on that you see, some you can't, yada, yada, yada. But it was just a lot. It was a lot going on. That was hard. And then interesting today, one of the linebackers for the Packers who was out in this game had talked about losing a lot of the players, and he blamed the turf. And then our girlfriend, Kelly Stafford, came out and said that the turf is really bad for these guys. And you would think that would be something. That's a good question for Sean. Why doesn't the rules committee or the safety committee, why don't they try to change this?
Yeah, for Sean Payton. Yeah. I don't know. And you think about all the player safety initiatives they take it.
I know,
have taken
with the
helmets, yeah. I don't know. I mean, these are questions I obviously don't have answers to, but I was just curious because I haven't done any sideline reporting in a very long time. I remember last year, you might have had to go somewhere and they were asking, maybe they were like short of reporter. Something was going to happen where like there might have been a scenario that I could or needed to go work a game. And I was like, fuck, I don't even remember how to do this.
Yes, you do.
No, but it's like when you haven't done something in a while, I don't know. Anyways.
It was, what was I also going to tell you? Oh, along the lines of that, a couple of things. We had 49ers Rams 2 weeks ago. We didn't do the podcast then, but I had a great phone call with Trent Williams, left tackle, probably one of the best offensive linemen in the league right now. And he was so lovely and fantastic. And obviously a big focus was their offensive line, the 49ers going up against the Rams defensive line, Aaron Donald, everybody else. And it was just so wonderful. Like we talked about when the John Madden doc came out, I just made sure to tell him how this was like one of the coolest things to be able to talk to somebody like him. And even yesterday with, a minute 30 left, I'm texting Jillian, God love her. She's exhausted. She just did World Series and NFL. I was like, hey, he's going to win this. So I need some gloss, I need something because I'm about to go out on this field. She like walks over. She's like, hey, what's up? But it was like a minute 30 left. I'm like, this guy's going to freaking win this. Like, this is freaking awesome. And just standing there. And then it's like 4th and 10. And you're like, holy shit. Like it was just cool to be like, this is why we love this so much.
Yeah,
like,
we're watching Brady last night.
And you talked about that with Brady. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of course, and we have friends in this business, but it's take the allegiance and the friendship out of it. Just watching Tom Brady have a vintage Tom Brady moment, and with everything that's been going on, and watching him, like he had this like pep in his step, walking up to the podium last night, and just like saying like that was fun, and it's cool because and watching Patrick Mahomes on Sunday Night Football. I mean, Jesus, like.
Oh my
there's
God.
a changing. Clearly, there's a changing of the guard, right? It's the Mahomes, it's the Josh Allens, it's the Joe Burrows and Aaron Rodgers and Brady are in the, the twilight of their incredible Hall of Fame career. But watching these young guys, I'm like, the NFL is in great hands, and it's so freaking fun to watch. But so that just always makes me happy, and I just was curious because as me doing game breaks, and I'm like watching let's go to Aaron for an injury, and I was like. That's a lot happening. And
so many. Yeah. And just a bummer too, because you see guys go down and you know what it takes to, get ready during the off season and the grind that they're going through right now. And then it's over. I'll say it fucking sucks. Feel bad for those guys. Feel terrible for them. So they put a lot into that.
We're week 10. We are more than halfway through. Although for us, because we have the World Series this year.
We do.
We have the Super Bowl this year, which is in Arizona. So I don't know. I think that you and I have, our conversations, obviously as friends outside of this podcast. And I think that we're pretty good about being like, oh, I was tired of this. And I'm like, fuck no. This thing is going to be over in a minute, and we have to appreciate it. And we love it. And it is, even if it's a grind, we're talking about football here, and it's something that we really love. So I just always try to keep that in perspective, even in the midst of these red eyes. No, I am not high. Okay, what else did we need to talk about? Oh, on the pregame, I intimated about my first, or we were talking about our first kiss. Wonderful viewer question. So I had my first kiss when I was 12 years old, but I lost my virginity early. I'm just going to go right into it. I mean, I know. Well, look, I'm still friends with the guy.
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked.
I know. But how about this? Lost my virginity at 15 years old. When you think about it now, like a 15-year-old, like, oh my God, that's so young. That was my boyfriend all the way into high school. But I don't know if that's that
young right now.
Well,
I don't know if that's that young. That's also very scary. Go on. Sorry.
I mean, you're young when I had braided pigtails when I went over to this. It was all arranged.
You wore braided pigtails last week when I saw you. So.
You know what? Some things never change. You're right. You're absolutely right. What's new in my life? But no, this was like my love. He went to a different junior high than I did. And we met because I played on a basketball team with girls that were on his junior high. And we met and we fell in love. And then he was my boyfriend all the way through until like junior year in high school. And then he broke up with me because he dated a sophomore. And I was so upset. But anyways, we're still friends. Yeah, he still wishes me. Yeah, we're still friends. Yeah. In fact, things get really weird. His sister dated my brother in high school. It was a real family affair.
Small town, eh?
Mm-hmm, small town. But yeah, anyways, I just think about that now and I'm like, my God, 15 is so young, but it's fine because we were in love.
Did you tell your parents or no?
No. And no.
Well, I don't know.
I never had the birds and bees conversation. I think as the youngest kid, my parents just assumed like I knew what was up because I had a sister who was 5 years older, a brother who was 2 years older. Did they have a birds and bees with you? Why are we called birds and bees?
Why are they called birds and bees? I need a diagram. No, I don't think so either. But my family, like I've talked about on this, we were always very, very open and about everything. And I got some good advice about, raising a family from a couple that said, look at the families that you like to be around and you like the way they've raised their kids. And I have a handful of those. Kelly Stafford and Matthew, the way they've raised their kids and the way they have their own life with and without the kids. Ashley and Ogden Phipps, you want to hang out with their kids when you're with them.
How about
when when
I'm DMing them and they're ignoring me and I'm like, oh, they probably think like this wackadoodle. I'm like, when Carson posts something.
I know, me too. And she doesn't write me back. So Ranchy.
She's busy.
Yeah, Jackie Quick and Jonathan Quick, the way they've raised their family and another family that I look up to a lot. So yeah, I feel like those people have had birds and the bees conversation. Well, if you look at Kelly Stafford's the morning after Instagram, Hunty was already telling Matthew about her boyfriend.
About him having a boyfriend. I know.
That video.
But, yeah. I don't know. I think it's like not having children, but just knowing that you can. I went to my mom for a lot of things. There was some things that you learn, like Santa Claus, for example. Like, when did that get revealed to you?
Because, late in my life. Because
last year,
probably. But it was a night I just hounded my mom to shit about it. I was like, no, but tell me. But tell me, Mom. No, but
really?
I need to know. Yeah.
How old were you? You're embarrassed to say.
5th grade. No, I'm not embarrassed. I'm trying to figure out 5th grade, I think.
You're finding out about Santa Claus when I'm losing my virginity?
Well,
Like,
it just tells you how late I was when I lost mine.
Happy holidays. You know what?
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho.
You were a ho.
No, I wasn't. He was my boyfriend all the way to high school. No, I was in love. No, and he still wishes me a happy birthday. No, it's definitely over now. I'll tell you what's over now, the podcast. We're all out of time. Gotta go. I need to go find
I didn't even get to talk about seeing Harry Styles. Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.